Signature Healthcare of Erin, and this is our Christmas angel tree. And each one of our residents are on here, and their size is on the back in case you want to buy them clothes or anything.
Okay, their size, but I mean, do they need a shirt, they need pants?
Well, different
or they just
ones.
need a toy?
Some of them just want books or something to read. Some of them want word searches. Whatever you would like to give them, they would love.
Okay, all right. It's kind of like my aunt used to send me a big bag of socks every Christmas, you know. So.
Yeah.
So
Do they have coal in them?
No, they didn't have any coal in them. But anyway, so they just come up and come in and pick a name off of there.
Yeah, you just come up and you pick a name off the tree, and then you sign your name right over here. And we want our gifts back by December 17th because December 20th is our big Christmas party here. And the reason we want them back by December 17th is to make sure every resident gets a gift.
Okay, they need to wrap them or?
Yes, you can go ahead and have them wrapped and make sure their name's on them.
Okay, that's what we wanted to know. All right, well, thank you. And,
Thank you.
We'll see y'all in a row. We're never see you in Channel 12.
Meeting will come to order. Roll call, Mr. Brown.
William Agee, George Jerem, Randall French, Steve Hall, Ray Elliott, Martha Greenfield, Darrell Kingsville, James Van Fleet, Leslie Lewis, Chris Self, Joey Brake, James Fussell, Brant Lamassus, Larry Sykes. 12 members present.
We do have a quorum. With that, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda for tonight. Motion is made. Is there a second? Is there a second? A second? All in favor? Opposed? The agenda is approved for tonight. You have your minutes from your previous meeting. Motion is made. Is there a second? And seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Okay, can you hear me now? Is that an echo? Let's go a little down just a minute. Let's go up. Okay, under old business, is that better? Under old business, you have some notary renewals. You have 4 of them: Amanda Davis, Angela Dobbins, Melissa Parchman, Lisa Rucker. I'd like a motion to approve those renewals. Motion is made. Is there a second? And seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Under new business, you have a contract with Pitney Bowes. That's for our stamps here in the courthouse. I'd like a motion to approve this contract. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have a grant. It's a $32,781.12 grant. This is for the Sheriff's Department. It's for DUI. Motion is made to approve the Sheriff's Department grant. And second, any discussion on this? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have a election commission grant. It's for $1,539.61. I'd like a motion to approve this election commission grant. Motion is made. Is there and seconded? Any discussion on this? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have a resolution for a capital outlay note for computer equipment at the hospital. I'd like a motion to approve the resolution and capital outlay note for the hospital. This is for electronic billing is what it's about.
Randall wants to make a motion.
Randall made a motion and seconded. Any discussion on this? Yes, George.
Now that's all software and all hardware and the training for
That's everything that is involved with that, yes.
that's software, hardware.
Software, hardware, and the training or something like, yes, that's correct. And we really think we're going to get it less than this, but this is covering us if we will. Any other discussion? Yeah, it'll be paid for with the grant, so. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have a resolution in regards to maintenance of roads. I just passed that resolution out. You want me to read the resolution?
I move we approve.
Motion is made to approve the resolution. Is there a second? Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? Yes.
Mr. Brake and I are on the highway committee. I don't ever recall anything being brought to us. We make decisions concerning the roads on a regular basis. We approved contractors for concrete abutments on these bridges recently. I don't see where we need this at all. Don't exactly understand it. Intend to vote no on it.
Any other discussion on it? Yeah.
I got a question. Do you intend to put the weekend out there?
Any other discussion? If not,
This basically just allows the superintendent to do his job without coming to us. Is that not right?
I wrote what you requested me to write. So at the last budget meeting, you requested me to come up with this resolution, and that's what you've got. Any other discussion? If not, we will have a roll call vote. Roll call vote.
William Agee. George Hiram.
Yes.
Randall French. Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
No.
Martha Greenfield. Gerald Kingsman. James Van Fleet.
Yes.
Leslie Lewis. Chris Self. Joey Brake. James Pizzell.
Yes.
Grant Lamastus.
Yes.
Larry Sykes.
No.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next on your agenda is your budget amendments and transfers. You have the ones from your general fund. I think you have a copy of each one of those. Is there any questions on those from the general fund? I think there's 4 of them.
Make a motion to approve the,
Motion is made to approve the budget amendments for the general fund. Is there a second? And seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have the one on the, where we borrowed the money for the hospital. I'd like a motion to approve that one.
So moved.
Motion is made. Is there a second? And seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. Next on our list is our quarterly reports. You have one from your trustee, your highway department, and your schools. I'd like a motion to approve the quarterly reports. Motion is made to approve all quarterly reports. Is there a second? And second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion does carry. With that, I'd like for a motion to adjourn. Yes.
Go ahead. We were talking on Amazon, you and I were talking.
Yes.
We came up here. I don't want to put it in the form of motion, but I'd sure like to see that at the Amazon committee meet, prior to the January meeting, and going back and
Well,
update what's going on. with
and we'll do that. I've asked the ambulance committee people, I asked them today to give me a clear picture of what we were talking about in our meeting, not just a lump sum, but how that money is spread out so that we can look at it and see what we can do with that. So, and they're going to do that. And so we'll do that once we get all that information, okay?
In your packet here, we have, in the general fund, 600,000 approximately. The emergency management system is owed double that amount almost.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about,
What
though.
we need to get, this body needs to get who owes what, how long it has been owed, and why it has not been collected. They're sitting on $1.2 million almost of uncollected debts, and this has gone on for God knows how long. And something, that's a budget buster. And we could have no problems with our budget if we collect even part of this money. So I think we need to have a complete report on how old these things are, who owes them, whether it's insurance companies, whether it's Medicare, Medicaid, whether it's an individual or whatever. We need to have a report before at the meeting, the next meeting, when we discuss this for the ambulance committee. Otherwise, we're just talking in the dark. But we need that information before we have committee.
George, today, actually, today I asked the ambulance committee people to break it down into how it's collected, whether it's Medicare, Medicaid, private pay, insurance, the whole bit. And they've done that, and it goes up to 150 days and above. So I also asked them, I said, that's not enough. We need to take it from 150 to 1 year, 1 year to 2 year, from 2 year to 3 year. So, because 3 years is, I think, the limit that you can go back and probably collect. So they're working on those figures, and just like, once they get those figures, then we'll have a meeting and we'll discuss to see what is really collectible and what is not. Okay? But yes, we're going to do just what you're talking about. But we've already started that process, because that's the only way that you can determine what you got. You know, some of this could be real old debt, and so we need to know what's real old and what's not. But they are working on that, and we'll have that probably, hopefully, in the next day or two. Anything else? If not, motion to adjourn.
No, we don't have one.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that wraps us up here at the Houston County Courthouse. We'll see y'all down the road. We're WCBN Channel 12, sponsored by Signature Healthcare, Houston County Drug Alliance, Traditions First Bank, and Signature Healthcare.
I'm gonna lay around the shack till the mail train comes back. Gonna roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay around the shack till the mail train comes back. Gonna roll in my sweet baby's arms. in the street with another man. Won't even go my bell. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Gonna lay round the shack till the mail train come back. Gonna roll in my sweet baby's arm. I know your parents don't like me. They drove me away from your door. Had my life to live over. Wouldn't go there anymore. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Gonna lay round the shack till the mail train comes back. Gonna roll in my sweet baby's arm. Gosh. Rolling my sweet baby's arms. Rolling my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay round the shack till the mail train come back. Gonna roll in my sweet baby's arms. Thank you.
Let's just go right on and do. Don't that road look rough anymore?
Well, darling, I've come to tell you, though it almost breaks my heart, that before the morning dawn, we'll be many miles apart. And don't that road look rough and rocky? Don't that sea look wide and deep? Don't my baby look the sweetest when she's in my arms asleep? Now one more kiss before I leave you. One more kiss before we part. You have caused me lots of trouble, darling, you have broke my heart. And don't that road look rough and rocky? Don't that sea look wide and deep? Don't my baby look the sweetest when she's in my arms asleep?
Ain't you the night?
Well, do it.
Oh, great.
Can't you hear the night bird calling far across the deep blue sea? While of others you are thinking, won't you sometimes think of me? And don't that road look rough and rocky? Don't that sea look wide and deep? Don't my baby look she's in my arms asleep. When she's in my arms asleep. No, that's the trouble. We ain't been practicing. But I want to tell you something. I told us Mike's already got it on the television, but you know, I don't know how many of you know Larry Patterson. Most of you? Most of you know Larry.
I don't.
Well, see, there's always been, they call it a little friction. I'm not nowhere near mad at Larry. I have never had a harsh word with Larry or nothing. But it's always been the feeling from the people around that he didn't like me. And I had a mutual feeling about him. He always said that there wasn't nobody down at Asbury good enough to play with him, and probably not. They ain't no good enough. We're not good enough to play with nobody. It's lucky that anybody would come anyway. But anyway, they found out about it down at the barber shop. And so every time Larry comes in, they'll have Mike's thing on the television with us playing. And I say, Larry, look at Larry. He said, don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. You know. So the other day, Norman Hamilton, y'all all know Norman, he goes down to the barber shop, and they're bugging him about me and Larry. And Norman said, well, you know why they can't get along, don't you? Don said, huh? I don't know. He said, they're half brothers. Well, the whole barber shop just shook just a little bit, see? And in a minute, he turned around and looked at him and said, if that's so, who's the daddy? He said, Shotgun Rye. Now, Shotgun Rye is the daddy to a half brothers, me and Larry. Oh, my goodness. I thought it was pretty good, though. And Norman, I was riding over to Fairview with him. He plays with the country band over there, and I was riding over there with him. Well, he just told me the part about me and Larry being half brothers on the way over. He never mentioned the other part till we got almost back home. And then he says, and I told him you a Shotgun Rye was y'all's daddy. He said, wow. Oh, goodness.
I always try to say something good about Larry, but if he's a human being, the woods is full of them.
That's No, he's got where he speaks to me pretty nice, so now. So. About every time I see him, he speaks to me.
No, he's mellowing out in his old age, see?
Larry's always been old for it, I know.
I try and get him out of it, and he jumps right back in the fire.
How in the world we get started on him?
Some people just want to get burned, don't they?
Let's do Cabin in Carolina. That's your favorite song. He likes this song right here. There's a cabin in the pines in the hills of Carolina, and a blue-eyed gal is waiting there for me. I'm going back someday, from there I'll never stray, from my cabin in the hills of Carolina. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of the pine, and a blue-eyed gal way down in Carolina. Someday she'll be my wife, we'll live a happy life in our cabin in the hills of Carolina. I'm packing my grip for a long, long trip, hey, back to the hills of Caroline. I want to see that blue-eyed girl. She's the sweetest in the world. And my cabin in the hills of Caroline. Oh, cabin in the shadow of the pine. And the blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife. We'll live a happy life in our cabin in the hills of Caroline. And when it's late at night and the moon is shining bright and the whippoorwill is calling from the hills, I'll tell her of my love neath the moon and stars above, how I loved her and I know I always will. Oh, cabin in the shadow of the pine and a blue-eyed gal way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife. We'll live a happy life in our cabin in the hills of Caroline. In a cabin in the hills of Caroline. Thank you, thank you. You ready?
Well, I guess what we're gonna do.
Oh, I don't know what you're gonna do. I hadn't heard no harmony on this in a long time, but I thought I'd do one of my songs.
Well, let's do it.
In C. There's a river that flows by a meadow, and a graveyard on a hill near a tree. There lies a lady in a grave, 1 year old, that was to me married to me. But she caught me one night in Kentucky, in the arms of a woman from town. With a look of surprise, she just closed her eyes and stood there with tears flowing down. Now the river that flows by the meadow has taken my Amy from me. My heart's full of pain. I know I'm to blame. She's in a graveyard on a hill by a tree. Not a word did she say when she saw me. She just turned and walked back down the lane. By the time I got dressed and ran where she left, my efforts I knew were in vain. For I found her ring in the dust by a path. I followed her tracks, I could see. They ran to the river that flows by a meadow and disappeared right before me. Now the river that flows by
has taken my Amy from me.
Oh, my heart's full of pain. I know I'm to blame. She's in a graveyard on a hill near a tree. In a graveyard on a hill near a tree. Good. I hadn't heard no harmony on that in a while.
I mean,
All right, then.
you liked waiting long enough, I forgot.
I know it's true. I believe Ivy could fiddle on that too, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I may just have to come up for a Friday night. Go ahead and sing.
Let's do Shackles and Chains, don't you? You didn't bring your fiddle in. Hey, we do it now.
No, I
Are you ready?
didn't. Where you at?
Hey? Ain't it? Oh, no, I see it. We might all do it now. Let's see. Be better. That's better. On a long, lonesome journey I'm going. Oh, darling, please, don't you cry. For in shackles and chains they gonna take me to a prison to stay till I die. And at night through these bars I will gaze at the stars and long for your kisses in vain. A piece of stone I will use for my pillow while I'm sleeping in shackles and chains. Put your arms through these bars once, my darling. Let me kiss those sweet lips that I love best. For in sorrow you're my consolation. In trouble my haven of rest. But night through the bars I will gaze at the stars. The plans that we made all in vain. A piece of stone I will use for my pillow while I'm sleeping in shackles and chains. A piece of stone I will use for my pillow while I'm sleeping in shackles and chains. Thank you.
While we're in A, we might well leave. Yeah, you got to pick this one. Head over here. Head over here. You got the middle, right? You got Kate's part.
If you want me to.
Oh, look. I can't remember how it started.
Do 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 do.
the ocean. If I don't change my notion, I just got to forget you if I can. Well, I'm feeling so blue, I don't know what to do.
Because I'm
Head over heels in love with you. Every day I'm sad and lonely, 'cause I'm thinking of you only. I just can't seem to sleep when I lay down. Lord, I'm feeling so blue, I don't know what to do.
because I'm
Head over heels in love with you.
Yeah, I did. I missed.
All my days are dry and dreary. All I do is sit and worry. I just can't spare the thought of losing you. Well, I'm feeling so blue, I don't know what to do.
because I'm
Head over heels in love with you. Well, I'd like to be forgiven, for my life just don't look living if I have to sit and worry over you. Well, I'm feeling so blue, I don't know what to do.
because I'm
Head over heels in love with you.
because I'm
Head over heels in love with you.
Am I good at K or word?
Oh, yeah. I believe it's better than K, don't you?
Don't let that get on there.
Don't put
K
that
don't fit.
on.
I
Don't
should-
put that on that, Mike.
Well, let's do it. We ain't done that in a long time. Right there. Hot corn, cold corn. Start off with the corn. Well, hot corn, cold corn, bring along a demon John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along a demon John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along a demon John. Fairly well, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir. Now upstairs, downstairs, out in the kitchen. Upstairs, downstairs, out in the kitchen. Upstairs, downstairs, out in the kitchen. Old Uncle Ben is rarer than the kicking. Yes, sir. Well, a hot corn, cold corn, bring along a Jimmy John. A hot corn, cold corn, bring along a Jimmy John. A hot corn, cold corn, bring along a Jimmy John. Fairly well, be see you in the morning. Yes, sir. Now, old Aunt Becky, won't you set him up again? Old Aunt Becky, won't you set him up again? Old Aunt Becky, won't you set him up again? I ain't had a drink since I don't know when. Yes, sir. Well, a hot corn, cold corn, bring along the Jimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along the Jimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along the Jimmy John. Fairly well, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir. Well, yonder comes the preacher and the children are crying. Yonder comes the preacher and the children are crying. Yonder comes the preacher and the children are crying. The chickens are running, the toenails flying. Yes, sir. Well, hot corn, cold corn, bring along a Jimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along a Jimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along a Jimmy John. Fairly well, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all ever do that? Larry don't do it? No. I bet he knows it. Don't you?
I doubt it.
Huh?
I doubt it.
Oh, good. I bet he does too. Let's do the girls on the mountain. How mountain girls can elbow above. We're riding a night in the high cold rain, in the blood of a lonesome pine. Feeling so blue, thinking of you, wondering why I left you behind. Oh, get out, boys, go back home, back to the girl you love, and treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. I remember the night we strolled down the lane. Our hearts were gay and happy then. You whispered to me as I held you close, Lord, I wish this night would never end. So get down, boys, go back home, back to the girl you love, and treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. Hey, get down, boys, go back home, back to the girl you love, and treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. Hey, how mountain girls can love. Too loud. Oh. Okay. I figured he was anyway. Ooh. Get this over here where I can read this.
What we got?
Maybe we do it.
Teardrop?
No, this. And we let me rest.
No. Kiss me, mother. Okay.
I don't. Kiss me.
What?
I am weary. Oh, I'll probably have to read the words on this, but here we go. Kiss me, mother, kiss your darling. Lay my head upon your breast. Throw your loving arms around me. I am weary, let me rest. Seems the light is swiftly fading. Brighter scenes they do not show. I am standing by the river. Angels wait to take me home. Kiss me, mother, kiss your darling. See the pain upon my brow, while I'll soon be with the angels. Fate has doomed my future now. Through the years, you've always loved me, and my life you tried to save. But now I'll slumber oh so sweetly in a deep and lonely grave. Kiss me, mother, kiss your darling. Lay my head upon your breast, throw your loving arms around me. I am weary, let me rest. I am weary, let me rest.
We need to do it more often where I know what to do.
Well, I guess we could do that. While we're there, we can do it. Teardrops with pennies.
Oh, yeah.
You know it all. You want to sing?
No, you say.
I had to read this one too. I know the words, but I just can't remember them.
How's that
It's
work?
got to be gray hair. What else could it be? Ain't it? Ain't that what it is? But you know, I noticed a while ago some of the words, I think it was Cabot in Carolina or something, I remembered words that were supposed to go in there that I ain't been putting in there. So I'm hoping I'm getting better. Either I'm getting better or paying more attention. I don't know which.
He's like Yahtzee. You never know what's going to come out of the can.
That's right. Well, if tears, whoo, that's gonna be high. We'll do it there anyway. If teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold, I'd have all the treasures my pockets would hold. I'd be oh so wealthy with treasures untold. Where's the help? If teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold, an acre of diamonds I'd offer to you, a solid gold mansion, an airplane or two. This world would be yours to have and to hold, if teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold. Here we go now. If teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold, I'd have all the treasures my pockets could hold. And I'd be oh so wealthy with treasures untold, if teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold. Oh yes, I'm glad. The tears that have fallen won't buy you a thing. The heartache next you cost me won't pay for a ring. The love that I wanted would not have gone cold if teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold. If teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold, I'd have all the treasures my pockets could hold. I'd be oh so wealthy with treasures untold if teardrops were pennies and heartaches were gold. But teardrops ain't pennies and heartaches ain't gold. We ain't done that in a while either, Edward.
No.
Edward, that sounds good, that middle part. Boy, I like that in there.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you done Brown Eyes?
Probably when the last time I sung them.
Yesterday, huh?
Yesterday. No, we didn't do it yesterday. It was church yesterday. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure. That's always been my favorite one. That's one of my favorite ones he do.
Today I feel so sad and weary, but all the loves that cannot be, all I need to make me happy is those brown eyes smile at me. Let those brown eyes smile at me, dear. That's what I wish with all my soul. Let those brown eyes smile at me, dear. Turn my blue moon back to gold. Now we've been sweethearts so long, darling, but now you're growing tired of me. The last time that we was together, George Brown, I didn't smile at me. Let those brown eyes smile at me, dear. That's what I wish with all my soul. Let those brown eyes smile at me, dear. Turn my blue moon back to gold. Turn my blue moon back to gold. Thank you.
Blue Bonnet Lane.
Blue Bonnet Plague. Is that what he said? Blue Bonnet Plague?
In my memories there lingers a dream that haunts me again. like the sweet fragrance of the flowers that grew down Bluebonnet Lane. Oh, the sweet and happy hours in my heart, they will always remain, like the sweet fragrance of the flowers that grew down Bluebonnet Lane.
Oh, yes, Ed.
I can see a pale moon rising above a blue misty plain, where I walk with my blue-eyed darling in my memories once again. Oh, the sweet and happy hours in my heart, they will always remain, like the sweet fragrance of the flowers that grew down Bluebonnet Lane.
Oh, tear it up. Oh, tear it up.
You got it, lady. Oh, the sweet and happy hours in my heart, they will always remain, like the sweet fragrance of the flowers that grew down Bluebonnet Lane, that grew down Bluebonnet Lane. No wonder you done so good. That was good.
Oh, gone.
Jane, you want to do one, then I want you to, we'll do that, and then you can do some gospel.
Do what now? Let it play, play that, what is it? What we playing, where go, this banjo tune?
Home Sweet Home?
Yeah.
Well, you see, you got this one turned up. Nothing, that's all right. Why you do that? On the electric guitar, that's distortion. Beating it here and there.
Yeah,
It's distortion.
yeah.
Well, maybe it wasn't needed all the time.
Right, right. You know, I just got in there and turning knobs.
Dog.
Now, here we go. You want to sing a verse of it in between? Home Sweet Home. You know the verse of it? You know. Reckon I've had it. You don't reckon I'd have it. Home Sweet Home, 46. I like to sing more than a verse if I've got it.
Y'all see me fall on that? See my stool? It don't look safe. That just don't look safe. Don't feel safe either. Oh yeah, I know it. I'm gonna go for a one stick next time. Just mount a bicycle seat on it.
I need to learn it. That's my song. All I have to do is just
My sister's a rock and roller. She always was.
Sweet home, there's no place like home. Home, home, sweet home, there's no place like home. The heart's dearest soul will smile on me there. No more To the isle I will never return, overburdens with care. The heart's dearest solstice will smile upon me there. No more from that old cottage again will I roam. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. Now, home, home, sweet home, there's no place like home. Home, home, sweet home, there's no place like home. I think he's a show-off right about then, don't you? Sound like a show-off to me. Woo! All right, let's do Are You Missing Me, and then we'll go to something else. The day that I kissed you and told you goodbye, your lips told me that you would wait. But your lips deceived me and told me a lie, while your heart was sealing my fate. Are you all alone with a memory? Now that I am gone, darling, are you missing me? Then out of the gray skies a letter then came, and just like a bolt from the blue, my castle came tumbling as I read it through. But I still can't believe that it's true. Are you all alone with a memory? Now that I am gone, darling, are you missing me? It said that in spite of the vows you had made, the glitter of gold turned your head. And while I was trying employment to find, you married another instead. Are you all alone with a memory? Now that I'm gone, darling, are you missing me? Tell me, are you missing me?
We ain't done a lot in the whole country we usually do.
Huh?
We ain't done no Merle, have we?
Merle. We're getting pretty close. I even got a request the other night, I think, from... Oh, that was from Pat. Joe, what did you hear that? Which one would you like to do?
Wine and roses.
Here we go. Once I lived a life of wine and roses, and I drank a lot back then for one concern. Success for me lay just around the corner. I thought my social friends would help me make the turn, but now I'm paying for the days of wine and roses. A victim of the drunken life I chose, and all my social friends look down their noses, 'cause I kept the wine and threw away the rose. I stood by and watched the bottle take control of me. The turn I made was not the one I'd planned, and I watched my social standing slip away from me, while I watched the bottle slowly take command. And now I'm paying for the days of wine and roses, a victim of the drunken life I chose. Now all my social friends look down their noses, 'cause I kept the wine and threw away the rose. Yes, I kept the wine and threw away the rose. All right, we're gonna have to do us a gospel song. Oh, my brother, take this warning. Don't let old Satan take your hand. You'll be lost in sin forever, and you'll never reach that promised land. The old crossroads now is waiting. Which one are you gonna take? One leads down to destruction, the other to the pearly gate. heaven, the other goes down below. Jesus, our Savior, be waiting. He'll guide you through that old crossroad. The old crossroads now is waiting. Which one are you gonna take? One leads down to destruction, the other to the pearly gate. And how soon your life will be over, you'll have to face that old crossroad. Will you be ready then, dear brother, to shun the one down below? The old crossroads now is waiting. Which one are you gonna take? One leads down to destruction, the other to the pearly gates, the other to the pearly gates. Jane, what do us?
You gotta do your song now for me.
What ain't? One more and then we'll do it. What's the gospel song you like to do?
Huh?
Hey, do Mother.
All right. On a dark, that's it. On a dark, stormy night, the angel called Mother. Her love that she shared for such a short while, she called us around and told us she was leaving. Then closing her eyes, she went with a smile. Mother that rests in a lonesome old graveyard on a hill far away, that stands a white tomb with grass covered. Oh, it seems so elective when spring season comes. Sweet flowers will bloom. I'll never forget the love Mother gave us. As children we played around our old home. I know her reward is a mansion in heaven. As children on earth are scattered and gone, Mother that rests on a hill far away, that stands a white tomb with grass covered. Oh, it seems so elected. When spring season comes, sweet flowers will bloom. When spring season comes, sweet flowers will bloom. Thank you.
Good job.
Hot corn, cold corn. Right? Hot corn, cold corn. Whew. Well, Liz fed me some soup the other day. It sets me on fire when she does it, you know. That sweat runs off the back of my neck. Oh. I want to walk through the valley with Jesus someday. Hold to his hand as we go on our way, and walk through Jerusalem and kneel there to pray. Let me walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. I want to stand on the rock like Moses once did, see the commandments and hear what you said. And if we're all faithful and do things your way, then I can walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. I want to walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. Through streets of gold with silver that way. And I'll rejoice with my loved ones who traveled your way. Let me walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. Lead me up to the place of the cross once again. With the ultimate price, you died for my sins. Then let me be patient till that judgment day, and I can walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. I want to walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. Through streets of gold and silver that way. And I'll rejoice with my loved ones who traveled your way. Let me walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. And I'll rejoice with my loved ones who traveled your way. Let me walk with you, Jesus, through heaven someday. Thank y'all. Thank you for having us up here. We had a good time and I hope you enjoy your dinner. We didn't spoil it too much. If it makes you sick, though, I don't think it's our fault, but thank y'all.
Thank you, sweetheart. My mouth gets dry. Careful. I'd like to welcome everybody to our genealogy workshop for November. There's a sign-up sheet going around. Please sign it and so we know who all's been here. If I don't have your email address, which I think I pretty much have everybody's email address, if you're not getting emails from me, put your email address on there and I'll include you to get updates of when next meetings are and things like that. This will be our last meeting for this year. December is so hard to schedule meetings with family and Christmas, and so we're going to skip December and we'll start back in January. I will tell you that I like to typically do our January meeting as a organization type meeting, showing you, teaching you how to organize your records or artifacts or anything that you have. I like to do that in January because it's like it starts off the new year to try to get you enthused about going through your piles. So if you have, actually, I'm telling you this now, so that if you have any organizational problems or if you have anything that you're not sure how to archive or how to take care of it, you can bring it or write it down and tell me about it in January and we can talk about it. So, like I always say, organization is a very personal thing. Everyone does it different. Everyone has a different way. But if you don't have any way, you need to find a way. That's the whole point. Or else you end up with piles that your family will walk in one day when you're not here and go, oh, this is all garbage, and throw it away. So if it's all nice and pretty in notebooks and stuff, maybe they won't. So that's what we're trying to prevent. A couple of things I wanted to say. The Friends of the Library are still selling our Christmas ornaments. It's of the courthouse, the old courthouse. They're $15. We take a check and cash. If you'd like to sell them, we still have about 40 of them. So we're trying to sell these. This is to support your library and help you. We buy pizzas like tonight, and we take care of story time, and we do the Artist of the Month, and we do the author signings with, food and things. So this is a great way to help support your library too. Okay. See me later. Another thing I'd like to share, that those of you that follow our Facebook page, you'll probably see tomorrow or Friday. I don't know if I'll get it on tomorrow or the next day, but maybe Friday. Raymond, and I cannot remember his last name off, Rosado. He is married to, what's her first name? It's a Coleman. Coleman. Pardon me? Olivia Coleman here in Houston County. Very, very nice young man. He actually works at the Clarksville Library, and they got a donation of books, and as they were going through the books, this fell out of one of the books, or he found it. And it's actually a postcard of the Big Yellow House. That's what I call it. This is, here it says Miss Annie W. Harris Residence, and it actually had a name. It was called the Casa Loma. And someone told me that means house on the hill. If you know Spanish, is that what, do you know Spanish?
What is that? What did you say?
Casa Loma, L-O-M-A. It's Casa's house, I know that. Okay. So he brought that to us for the archives, and so I thanked him very much for that, because this we will add to our collection. So, this may not seem like much to some, but every little piece that we can recover is our recovered history, because we have lost a lot. And so I'm constantly asking people to look and to check things. So that was very nice of him. Hopefully we'll see that on Facebook. We're going to start tonight with something funny. I like to try to find, between the last meeting and this meeting, I look for funny things that come across the computer. And I copied this, so I'm going to send it out. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll give you a copy of it. It's past Halloween, but this came out just right at Halloween, so it was after we'd had our last meeting. It's Scary Halloween Stories for Genealogists. And what this is are things that might crop up in your research that are kind of scary, but they do happen. Number one, the family cemetery you've been looking for this past decade was just investigated by ghost hunters on TV. Number two, the Mayflower lineage document from your second cousin is really just a 1972 receipt from the moving company. That's my luck. Number three, this third one will actually go really well with what we're going to talk about tonight.
Great Aunt Hilda, who you have avoided interviewing, just passed away, and you never got the story of her passage through Ellis Island. Number 4, that illustrious ancestor, this is my favorite, that illustrious ancestor who, according to a 1912 compiled genealogy book, occupied a chair of applied electronics at an important government institution, was really a convict sent to the electric chair. The next one, your mother confesses about the milkman making 50% of your family tree wrong. You finally find your ancestor's obituary and it says, died last week. That has actually happened to me. The last one, the county where your ancestors lived changes boundaries more times than you can count. That also is very, very interesting. So I'll give you all these so you can have a copy of it. The next thing I'm going to give you before we start is something else that I came across. There's a gentleman in the genealogy world. His name is Michael John Neal. He's a professional genealogist, and he also does a publication called Case File Clues. And it's actually a subscription. You have to subscribe to it to get these. I'm not sure. I think he does them once a month. And it's just like a handout like this, and it's usually some sort of a genealogy teaching or something. Well, I was offering a free case file clues, and I got this one. And this one is actually really good. And it talks about brick walls from A to Z, and it just goes from A to Z, and it gives you all different kinds of tips and tricks on how to get past that brick wall. So I'm going to give you all these too. These are really good. This you can read these and maybe get some good tips out of them. And just know that, you know, if you go to his website or whatever it is, the paid, he does charge you for these teachings every month. I don't think it's a lot of money, but I've not ever subscribed to it. Okay, tonight we're going to talk about the holidays. How many of us are going to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas? How many of us are going to see at least one relative other than our own spouse and our children? One of the things I like to encourage people who do genealogy, which is also very difficult for me because it's hard when your family doesn't like to necessarily talk about family. The name of my teaching tonight is Dragging Genealogy Information Out of Your Family. Sometimes it's like that, trying to drag it out of them. So that's what we're going to talk about, because the holidays are coming, and this is the perfect opportunity for you to talk to your family members. And I'm going to warn you, some of you are sitting there saying, but I am either the oldest family member or I'm about the only one left. Well, you're going to come into play later in this too, so it does apply. It is the holidays. Whether you meet with your family at Thanksgiving or Christmas or not, you still, I believe, most of us get in contact with our family members somehow, some way. For me, my family comes to my house on Thanksgiving, we have Thanksgiving. And there's not a whole lot of my family left, and a lot of my family doesn't like to talk about the past. How did I become a genealogist? So it can be difficult, I know, it can be. There's men that don't want to talk about their military careers. There's women that don't want to talk about their childhood, maybe something tragic happened. But if we don't get this information out of them now, when they're gone, it's gone too. And so these are just maybe some tips and tricks and some ways maybe you can kind of get it out of them without them knowing it. But it helps you. The first thing I would like to say is you have to talk to your family members. Now, I understand that maybe some of us don't talk to our family members very much. Me, for one, I don't like to talk on the telephone. So when my mother or my father or my brother, anybody calls, I'm like, okay, yeah, what do you want? You know, tell me what you want so I get off the phone. I'm just that way. Now, when I'm in person, I like to talk to them. But my mother doesn't like to open up about her life very much. And I know that I could get more out of her if I try. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to try. Even that grandfather or that great aunt that seems a little, not so nice, just try. You never know what kind of nugget of information you might get. So the first thing is to talk. Talk to your family members. And I'm not talking about just your older family members. I'm talking about even your brothers and sisters. And you're thinking, but we all lived in the same house. An only child. Okay, your cousins. Cousins. Because I'm more or less talking about people your own age. You think, well, how can I get anything from them? Your cousins and your siblings, although they may have lived the same time you did, they experienced a different life than you did. Believe it or not. Even if you grew up in the same household. Not too long ago, I was talking to my brother, who's 6 years older than me. And I have always remembered my childhood as being a very Leave It to Beaver type childhood, to me. And so I was talking to my brother one day, and we were talking about growing up. We grew up in a military family. My father was in the Air Force for 20 years. He retired when I was 10 years old, and that's when we moved to Tennessee. And then he worked another 20 years for SunTrust Bank in Nashville. So my parents always worked. My grandmother lived with us since I was 3 years old. She pretty much raised us because my mother was a workaholic and Daddy worked nights. So he slept during the day. And so I told him, oh, what a great, wonderful childhood we had. And he looked at me and he said, what house did you grow up in? And I said, well, our house. And he said, we grew up in a very dysfunctional family. And I was like, I don't know how you say it. How could you say that? We lived in a very wonderful family. So yeah, it was a wonderful family, but it was dysfunctional. So we had a discussion about that. And so I'm still not convinced it was dysfunctional because I remember it how I remember it. And so he remembers it how he remembers it. Things happened to him or in my family that maybe I didn't know about or I wasn't privy to. I was too young. So there's nothing wrong with talking to your siblings too. You never know. They may see things in a different light than you did or may have other pieces of information that you didn't know. I have a great aunt who is actually on Facebook. She just turned 86 years old. She's on Facebook. She emails. She does computers. She was a teacher. And she was a teacher for many, many years. And she is wonderful. I can always email her and ask her a question, and she emails me right back. And so it's great that she is in the electronic age. But a lot of our older ones are not. So sometimes we have to just sit and talk to them. So talking, that's the main thing. Just start talking. Mike brought up something tonight to me which is very, very true. Don't discount Facebook. I think a lot of us that are in here, a lot of us use Facebook for our personal reasons mainly. Facebook is a very good genealogy tool, believe it or not. You can find long-lost cousins. You can find long-lost ancestors or family members that maybe don't want to be found. Mike's case, can you tell your story?
Yeah, I was an adopted child, and so I had no idea as to who any of my blood relatives were, and so I found out later who they were. And I had one sister that I actually had visited here, and I visited her in Texas, and she had our one daughter, Sonia, has been here. In fact, she was here this year, but I had no way to get a hold of any of the other ones or know who they were or anything like that. And so I noticed one day on Facebook that she was talking to another girl, and she mentioned an aunt that I had known about, and kind of find out that this girl, my aunt, was her mother, and so therefore I ended up gaining 2 more cousins and several minor cousins like that are blood kin, which I hadn't. So, I mean, it's kind of neat that way. So, if you're searching for somebody and you're talking to somebody in a relationship, that you talk to regularly, you might look at who they're talking to. I mean, I know that sounds a little nosy, but at the same time, it's a way that you might look at who they are. And it may be somebody that you've known all your life. Let's say with Facebook, we're only 4 steps removed from everybody in the world. Somebody will know somebody will know somebody. So, just a thought there.
Another way to use Facebook too is now, like the Houston County Archives, we have a Facebook page, but there are a lot of libraries and archives and genealogists, people that do one name studies, which is where they just study one surname, have Facebook pages. And so you can go looking for those places wherever it is you're researching and see if like a library and archives has something, and you could, if you're needing something, maybe you can put a post on there and say, I'm looking for this. Maybe somebody there can look for it for you and send it to you. You know, Facebook is really becoming a good tool for genealogists. I know that the Archives Institute that I went to a couple of weeks ago, one of the programs that they talked about, one of the sessions that they had, was using social media for your archives and how is a good thing. And they actually used the Houston County Archives as an example. The gentleman who did the workshop used the Houston County Archives as an example. Because, like Mike said, it reaches so many people. So that is just another tool in your genealogist toolbox to use. The next thing is to listen to your family members. Now, a lot of us probably have family members that we may not want to listen to, or that we would be, 3 weeks down the road and we're still listening to them. But listen to your family members, because you may, if you don't listen, you may miss something. A few weeks ago, it was my stepmother-in-law's birthday. We went over next door because my husband's father lives next door to us. We went over there to give her a birthday card and just wish her happy birthday. And we're just sitting there, I think it was during some football game or something, and they were watching a football game. And it came up that my husband's father, the Barkers, who were from here, he mentioned that his father, which was Lanny Barker, that owned the store at Grace Crossing, played on the baseball team in Stuart when he was a teenager. And he just went on and on and on. And I'm sitting there thinking, I have to remember this. I have to remember this. And my brain is like cheesecloth. It just gone. And so as soon as we left to walk back over to the house, I sat down and I wrote it exactly what he said down. Because I won't remember it. But I may never get him to tell me that again. So it's important to listen. Even when you're in casual conversations, try to pick up on some things, if you can, if you're talking about family. So listening is very important. Writing it down. We can listen all day long, but if we don't put it down in some form or fashion, then we'll forget it too. Or it'll be in our heads, and we'll tell everybody as we get older, and then when we die, it's gone. We need to get these stories and information down on some kind of paper, either handwritten or type it into a computer. I have a lady that I know that's in the genealogy world, and she carries with her a little microcassette recorder, and she talks into it. When she hears something one of her family members says, she'll talk into it, or if she, comes up with something, she'll talk into it, and she'll go home and she'll play it, because she can't remember that well. So get it down on paper, record it. The next one is record it somehow. If your family members will allow you, bring a tape recorder with you. Now they have these little tape recorders, and I don't even know if do cell phones have that capability now to record. Take some sort of a recording device with you. And don't stick it in their face. Let them know you have it. But don't, people get really kind of. So I would just lay it on the table. And then I would proceed to just talk to them, normally like you talk to anybody else. The next one is use historical events to jog memories. If your family member says, oh, I don't remember anything, or you don't want to know about all that, that's just old stuff, you don't want to know about all that. Okay, they're not going to give it up too easy. So I would suggest you start asking them questions. This coming Friday, the 22nd, is the 50th anniversary of the JFK assassination. Maybe ask your family member, where were you when JFK was shot? Oh, I'm telling you, they're going to remember where they were. And once you get them talking about that, you might ask some other family members, where were you on 9/11? Where were you during the Great Depression? What was the Great Depression like for your family? Ask them about something that they experienced. And once they start talking to you about that, you will be extremely surprised at how they continue to talk, and they'll move to something else, or they'll say something about Aunt Mary, or they'll, you'll be amazed. They don't think they have it up here, but if you just ask them these little questions that everyone has an answer to, mainly. I don't think everyone in this room, if I asked you, where were you on 9/11, you could tell me. And so that's part of your family's history. So use that for a tactic. I call it a tactic. It's not mean. But it gets them to think. That's like the Great Depression. My husband's grandmother, Ruth Barker, she was a Burcham, lived at Grace Crossing during the Depression. And she says that it's really difficult for them to remember that there was a Great Depression because they lived in the South and on a farm. She says, we grew or made everything. The only thing that they had to buy was sugar, coffee. There was one other thing, sugar, coffee, maybe it was flour. But there was one other thing. Oh, tobacco. It was sugar, coffee, and tobacco was what they had to buy. So she did. She told us, she made that comment. She said, you know, we really didn't know there was much of depression going on. Now, other places, like my family lived in cities, they knew the depression was going on. I have my, you know, my grandmother used to talk to me about it all the time, about how they had to pool all their resources together. They all lived in one house. You know, it was bad. But it's part of our history. So use those historical things. That even maybe something that's in your family, something that happened in your family that maybe isn't too difficult for them to talk about, you can bring up. Tell me about when Grandma, you know, went to college. Tell me about when, you know, ask them those things. Things that you pretty much feel like they'll talk about. And I promise you, it'll lead to other things. And they'll just start talking and talking. And that's another reason why you want the recorder. Because it's hard to remember. But if you don't have a recorder, get a pen and paper and just start making notes. You know, the main thing is that your ancestors and your family members have this information. It's not going to be on a document at a library or in archives, especially their experience and how they feel about it. We can look at documents all day long, but they're cold and they don't tell us how your family felt or what they experienced. So that's what I like to get, like I talk about putting meat on the bones. I can get a record of something. But when I talk to my ancestor about the Depression, they will tell me what it was like for them. You know, JFK, when he was assassinated, they will tell me where they were, what they were doing, how they felt about it. You know, and that is important not only for our, to me, not only for our country's history, because that's part of our country's history, but also for our family history. So I think that's very, very important. Now, this last one on the last page, I told you that you all would come into play in this. What if that you, sitting there, are your older family member? Don't throw anything at me. Or, if you're not the older family, you're the keeper of the family memories. You know, we all have one in the family. I'm it. And so if you are that person and your family knows you're that person, they'll probably be more likely to talk to you too. That will help because they know that you're doing this. They know you're doing genealogy. However, if you are that older person, talk to your family members about your experiences, your family's history. Now I know they're going to roll their eyes and they're going to say, here she goes again. And, you know, they'll listen for a little while and then they're going to go into the living room and watch the football game. But try to talk to your younger family members about your family's history. They may be interested now or not, but they'll remember you talking about it. And as they get older, one day they'll become interested. Because I imagine all of us sitting in this room were not interested in this when we were 20 years old. I know I wasn't, because my grandmother passed away and I never did talk to her like I should have. I was too busy getting married and too busy having kids and trying to survive and live. But then later on, when I became interested in genealogy, I thought, oh, I wish I'd have talked to Grandma before she died. But I didn't get to. So that's another reason. Talk to your family members and tell them what you know about your family. You know, tell them the interesting things. Don't tell them about all the dull record stuff. Tell them about your third great-grandfather that was in the Civil War that was, you know, arrested because he had deserted. Tell them the interesting stuff. And then maybe they'll listen to more. But don't keep all of it inside you either. I know we're trying to get stuff from all of our family members, but we have it inside of us too, what we've learned, what we've researched. So tell our family members, especially those ones that aren't around us all the time, because I know the ones that are around us all the time probably hear it all the time. Like my husband. He couldn't go so far and his eyes just kind of glaze over. And yeah. But And consider writing your family memories down. I know that seems like a very daunting task, especially for people like me, who I research everybody that I think has ever been related to my family or my husband's family. But just take one ancestor, okay? And look at the records and the information you have for that one ancestor, whoever it may be. I usually start out by doing a timeline. And then I do a narrative. I just start out, you know, he was born at this time, in this place. And then you could do like a skeleton type basic narrative. As you find information, you can add. And, you know, you can add the little nuances. And even then you can look up historical events that happened during their lifetime, and you can, and especially if they happened where they lived. You could add, you know, nothing maybe factual that maybe happened to them specifically, but you could add that type of history to their narrative. Miss Ann Hagler is actually writing her book on the ancestor, on the Rosser family, but it's really based on the murder of her ancestor. And she is including a lot of things that happen in Houston County around that time that the ancestor was or was not maybe involved in, but it happened. And so those are important too. And that's why, you know, I love history.
Call it the cursed corner.
The cursed corner. Yeah, there's been more than one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we have Nichols.
My uncle, same corner.
Yeah, and it was only a few years, 4 years later. So yes, that could be a good book. Somebody needs to write that book. But if you use pen or paper, or if you use a computer, it needs to get down in some form or fashion, because I know people that are living that have not written anything down, and it's going to get lost. And while Nina Finley has written a lot of books or transcribed records, she's not gotten what's up in here down on anything. And I have encouraged her to write. Well, I don't have time to write. Okay, get you a tape recorder when you're sitting in the living room and not talking into it. Well, I'd fill up all kinds of, you know. I said, fine, do it. Then someone will transcribe it later. Main thing is getting it out of here and down onto something concrete, so we'll have it for the future. I know that Jackie and Donald were there last night. Was it last night? And Leah was there. We went to the one-man play. What was the name of it? Bird, yeah. Yeah. 1863, about Mr. Aaron James. And they did the one-man, well, last night. Well, one of the witnesses was a Mr. Shackelford. After the play, they took a time to take questions. And, of course, Nina's sitting right there in the front row. And Nina says, well, you know, and they started talking about Mr. Shackelford, and that his daughter-in-law was Ruby Shackelford. And I'm just sitting there going, please get this down on something, because it's all in there. And when we lose her, it's going to all be gone if she doesn't do something with it. But you can't make people. No, I encourage her. Every time I see her, I say, are you writing? Are you talking or anything? No, not yet. So I encourage her to do that. And I encourage you all too. I mean, even your own lives. I mean, like I said, if you don't keep a diary or a journal, write some things down about your life experiences for your children and your grandchildren. Because there's going to come a day where your grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to want to know what you all were like. Believe it or not, even though, like me, we're boring. But they're going to want to know.
I'd like to add something to that. I have a friend who started writing her autobiography, and she didn't think she would remember very much, but as she started writing, stuff came back. So if you think, well, I don't remember that much, start writing.
Another thing that people tell me, well, people don't want to know about that, you know. I follow a couple of blogs. I follow a lot of genealogy blogs, but there's a couple that I follow of people that have family letters, and they have a lot of family letters. And what they do is they post these letters. They transcribe and post a letter a day. And these are everyday people, not famous people. But these letters are very precious because it tells you about their daily lives. One blog is about World War II letters. And one blog goes back to the early 1900s and talks, and it's just, she scans all the letters and puts them on there and then transcribes. And you can read their letters, and their love letters, or their letters back home to their brothers and sisters. And so that's the same thing. Your life is important. to history, I believe. So it's important for you to write down your life story, even as you live it, and also your family, each of your family members, as much as you can. The last thing that goes along with this is, and I've talked about this before, is securing your records. Your paper records, audio records, anything that you might have. And why I added that was because in the newspaper, today's newspaper, if anybody ever read the newspaper, there is in here, Long Creek home destroyed by fire. And I'm thinking if it said in here, I believe there's something in here that says something about them losing their family.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of family heirlooms
Yes.
supposedly either in the basement or somewhere stored in there.
I'm looking because I thought I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they get it down and get it on CDs, get it on some kind of format that you can copy. Give copy to family members. Put one in a safe deposit box. Get it out of your home. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but house fires happen all the time. And so my husband's family has been through 3 house fires. Total house fires. There was one when his parents got married, their house burned, their brand new house. His father and my husband lost a house when he was 13 years old in Dixon, totally gone. And then he lost his house in 2001 up there by where we live. And so his family has very little records. So it's important that I encourage you all to get it down in some kind of form, get it out of the house, give it to other family members just to hold for you, or put it in a safe deposit box. Also, your pictures on your walls, don't put originals in those frames. Try to get really good copies, because I've seen too many times on the news where people are standing outside their houses and they've had a fire, and what are they holding? They're holding the frames of the pictures that they could get off the walls on their way out. And so make copies. That way, first of all, you don't have to worry about it. You can just go out of your house, not to worry about getting that off the wall. But that's what I do. I make really good copies of the photos I'm going to hang, put those in my frames, and the originals I have put away in a safe, actually. Although that may not survive, I don't know. It's a fireproof safe, but get them scanned, put them on disc, give them to family members, so that you save them. A lot of people may think that I'm crazy because I really go on and on and on about saving history and saving, our records and things. But so much has been destroyed, so much has been lost. And, I feel like it's up to a lot of us that are in the genealogy community to help save what we can, And so during this holiday season, enjoy your family, but at the same time, talk to them. I know that every one of us has that one family member, maybe, that you've been dying to talk to. Been dying to ask them some questions, or just know about a certain piece of information. Maybe you're afraid because they don't like to talk much. I know Chris is my husband's grandmother. She's a very wonderful lady now. She doesn't have her mind anymore. She's in the nursing home. But I can remember when I started genealogy asking her questions. And she'd say, well, why do you want to know about that? That's all that old stuff back in the past. We don't talk about that stuff. But I would ask her about depression. Or I would ask her, where were you when this happened? And she'd, let me tell you. And here she'd go. So see, it wasn't like me sitting out there trying to get stuff out of her. She would love to talk about that because she experienced it. So that's an avenue to use. But, enjoy your families and have a wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we'll be back in January with our classes. But for the rest of tonight, I'm done with the class as far as teaching. But I hope you all have brought your gloves. Because I got gloves. But I did bring something kind of special for us to look at tonight. In the past classes,